Many English words can't be sounded out, and for many dyslexic learners, sounding out simply doesn't work. So what's the alternative? Today we'll explore the lexical route, a powerful truth for struggling readers and spellers. Hi, I'm Shauna Pope Jefferson, a speech-language pathologist with over 26 years of experience working with children and adults. I've helped many severely dyslexic learners become skilled readers and spellers, even if they can't always tell me what phoneme a grapheme is spelling in a word we're investigating. You see, learning to read and spell doesn't always follow the same path for everyone. Breaking down a word into spoken phonemes remains elusive for many children with language and literacy disorders for many years or even a lifetime. Researchers have known about two reading routes for over 2 decades. In 2000, Colhart presented the dual route cascaded model, showing 2 ways to process words to learn to read, the lexical and the non-lexical route. While some learners can succeed by sounding out many words, others, especially struggling readers, need a method that uses the lexical route. This method activates meaning and studies structure before focusing on sounds. It's the pathway that structured word inquiry, or SWI, taps into. SWI was the first method to approach orthography, the science of spelling, as it naturally exists. English is a stress-time language. It is not syllable-timed like Spanish, and many letters, or graphemes, can represent multiple phonemes. This makes it impossible to rely on written syllable types for most words. It's also why most words can't be sounded out. And for those words that can be sounded out, our learners who struggle the most can't access that pathway to reading. As a result, they end up getting stuck on the lower levels of reading programs that target 3-letter words. I've met children who were stuck at that level for years. Take the words comic and music. They both follow a CV-CVC pattern, but their syllable division is different. The first vowel in comic is short or lax, and the first vowel in music is long or tense. How is a child supposed to know how to divide these words while reading a page of text? It turns into a guessing game, and guesswork isn't an effective strategy for dyslexic learners. Let's take a look. Comedy, comedian. Note the shift in pronunciation of the phoneme the E is spelling. E spells in comedy, but it spells E in comedian. Comical, comically. Note the shift in pronunciation, the phoneme that the A is spelling in comical to comically. The A in comically is spelling a zeroed allophone. We don't pronounce it at all. No written syllable types can teach the pronunciation of these words. However, when you study these spellings in their family and make sure the words are in the oral vocabulary of your students before writing word sums to study the morphemes, it sets the stage to analyze the grapheme-phoneme correspondence. No guessing. No drill and rote memorization. And we see the same patterns again and again, so it generalizes to other spellings, as we see when we take a look at the family of M-U-S-E. Music, musician. Note how the I in the IAN suffix marks the C, sh. Musical, musicality. Note the shift in pronunciation of the A in the AL suffix from to a. Musical, musically. Remember this pattern from the COME matrix? Here it is again. The A spells in musical, and it's zeroed in musically. Using SWI, the same orthographic patterns appear again and again. With SWI, dyslexic learners don't need to memorize endless rules, syllable types, or GPCs in isolation. Instead, they use matrices to study word families, allowing them to see the bigger picture. They use word sums to practice and to shift from sounding out to spelling out. And over time, the need to analyze every spelling for its grapheme-phoneme correspondence fades, because recognizing these patterns becomes second nature, and the words make it to automaticity. Once that happens, it's okay if the child can't tell you what every I spells in Mississippi. Furthermore, research has shown that learning morphology leads to greater skill with the metalinguistic tasks of phonological awareness. These metalinguistic skills are high-level language skills that develop over time to varied degrees in dyslexic learners. The key concept here is that phonological awareness tasks are not pre-literacy skills. They are abstract, high-level language skills that demand a great deal of effort from working memory. So what's the big picture? SWI lightens the cognitive load for dyslexic learners. By removing the need to memorize written syllable types and the need to memorize all the phonemes a grapheme can spell before understanding how words function, SWI lets them explore language in a more intuitive way. It's not about memorization, it's about discovery. This method fosters curiosity and allows for questions, creating a positive and engaging learning environment. Dyslexic learners don't have to follow the same path as everyone else. They need one that passes through meaning and structure on the way to sounds. And remember, we learn to read and spell the words we already know and use. This is why building a child's oral vocabulary is so crucial. The more words they know and use, the more words they can learn to read and spell. For dyslexic learners, it's not about drilling phonemes or memorizing syllable types. It's about understanding meaning and structure and how words work. When we take this approach, we empower them to become successful readers and spellers.